joining us today. We are very excited about our second annual Become HSAD Tech Days. Yesterday we had the opening address by Mary Devaney, and today our first speaker will be Becca De Smet. She is the Community Manager for the Institute for Healthcare Improvement. And again, I would like to thank you all for joining us today. This has been very important to the HSAD department. We believe that teaching and engaging for the collaboration in healthcare is very important for our students, and especially when they are getting started with their new careers. So again, thank you so much for joining us for the second annual Become HSAD Tech Days, and I'll now turn it over to our first speaker.
Thanks so much, Jewel. And thank you everyone so much for having me. I'm really thrilled to be a part of this day. And thanks for your patience as we got the technology up and working. So I will share just for about 10-15 minutes a little bit about the Institute for Healthcare Improvement and the Open School, which some of you may be familiar with. For example, I had the pleasure of working with Dr. Shepard during one of the online courses that we offer. So I'll share a little bit about that and leave time for questions. So today, just the topic of my presentation will be about building an online community of change agents in quality and safety. And I will share how the Open School has done that over the last 10 years or so. So just to introduce myself, my name is Becca De Smet. As Jewel mentioned, I'm a community manager at the Ietake Open School, and I've been working with health professional learners for about 3 years now, supporting them in learning quality improvement and patient safety and leadership skills. And for those of you who aren't familiar, the Ietake Open School, as I mentioned, we're celebrating our full decade of being in existence, and our mission is to advance healthcare improvement and patient safety competencies in the next generation of healthcare professionals worldwide. And this began really with interest from students themselves to collaborate across traditional boundaries and silos in healthcare, creating both an online and in-person community of people very dedicated to improving the quality and safety of healthcare in their local settings, and finding like-minded change agents to support them in doing so, and really coming together across different professional backgrounds. So I know many of you are, I think, in healthcare administration or business backgrounds, and we at the heart of the Open School is about how we can bring together people with business or public health backgrounds, healthcare administration, along with medical students, nursing students, social work, etc., and have them develop the skills and confidence to work together in a more integrated way to provide team-based care to patients. So the Ietake Open School, as I mentioned, has been around for about 10 years, and we've, in that time, developed primarily 3 ways of working. So one is our online courses, the second is the community that's, as I mentioned, both online and in person, and the third is the project-based learning piece, which enables people to build on the skills that they've learned to apply them to achieve some real outcomes in their clinics or in their communities or on campus. So first with the courses, just a quick overview. We offer over 32 online courses developed by experts in healthcare and quality improvement across the world. So these are spanning a couple of different key topics. So of course, improvement science fundamentals, patient safety, in addition to person and family-centered care, the triple aim in population health and leadership. And each of those courses are asynchronous. You can take them anytime. They take about 1 to 2 hours to complete, and they are free to students, residents, and faculty members. We do offer the course catalog access to professionals and organizations for a subscription fee to sort of cross-subsidize that free access to people in academic roles. And over the years, over 3 million courses have been completed around the world, and more than 1,500 universities and healthcare organizations use the courses formally in their curriculum to provide a common language and framework in quality and safety for either their staff and employees or their students. We also, as I mentioned, have the chapter network. I think this slide got a little bit wonky, but the point here is that we have over 500,000 students and residents registered on our website, and many of them have formed offline, in-person groups that are face-to-face and interprofessional, and more than actually 900 at this point. We recently celebrated that milestone in over 90 countries have sprung up around the world. And chapters do all sorts of things. They may put on events, they may take courses together, they might form discussion groups, and they may do projects to improve some facet of community health. They importantly, as I mentioned, span a range of professional backgrounds. So as you could see here, if my slides had been a bit clearer, we have people from dentistry, law, healthcare informatics, business, PA, physical therapy, nursing, really every role you can think of is represented in the open school. And the third area, this is one example that's close to my heart. I work to manage the Leadership and Organizing for Change course, which is one of our project-based learning opportunities. Again, this is a chance for people to kind of get off the computer and out into the real world and take the skills that they're building to collaborate with others that they're encouraging to create a shared vision for change and lead a project over the course of the 10 weeks that we run the program twice a year to build a leadership team to lead some kind of improvement project in health. And the course, we're actually in the thick of it now. We are in lesson 6 of the spring semester, and every week involves a mixture of different multimedia methods. So there are online video lectures. There's also a 60-minute bi-monthly call that brings together the cohort of learners to share their experiences and learn from one another. And then we have that period of actual field work where the learners in the course go and apply the skills that they're learning to the project that they're leading. Here are a couple of the key skills taught in the course. So, of course, we have a strong foundation of quality improvement fundamentals that many people bring to the course. And our belief is that in order to actually affect change, you need not only that rigorous improvement science, but you need to actually learn how to get people on board and get them engaged. So we do a lot of leadership teaching, and we draw on principles from community organizing. So how you can tell a story of why this issue matters and call others to action. How you can map stakeholders in your local setting to get a sense of the landscape of people already working on this project or on this challenge, who you may be able to engage, and what assets and resources they may bring to the work. We do a lot of practice around building strong relationships, developing strong and distributed teams, enabling other people to take on leadership so you're not sort of solely responsible for moving the work forward, and ultimately getting people to take collective action together. This is just an illustration of the diversity of the course. So we have this spring around 600 people who've enrolled in the program or participating from all around the world, as you can see here. Certainly a great representation in North America, but also in Australia, all across Asia and Africa and Europe and the Middle East and Latin America. And that diversity is really a benefit that our learners see in the course, getting a sense of how you can apply these skills in really different contexts, bring different experiences, and different skill sets to the work. So at this point, over 2,000 students and residents, faculty, and professionals have engaged in the Leadership and Organizing for Change course's 8 offerings. This, of course, includes Dr. Shepard herself. That's how we were initially connected. So we're incredibly proud of this change agent network that we built. And again, the open school is really a forum for them all to support one another, learn from one another, and lead kind of systematic, system-wide change across the world to improve health and healthcare, which is, of course, IHI's mission. Just 2 quick anecdotes here. So 2 student-led efforts I wanted to highlight. One is a chapter in Portland, Oregon, out of the Portland State University and Oregon Health and Sciences University. They organized their community and reached out to local nonprofits and healthcare organizations to start a student-run clinic to serve people experiencing homelessness in Portland, Oregon. So they took this leadership and organizing course, they leveraged their quality improvement ideas, they built a strong foundation of interprofessional teamwork and garnered support from faculty and other stakeholders in the community. And over the course of about 2 years, built a really strong infrastructure to launch this clinic, which started in September. So we're just incredibly proud of that as an example of the power that students bring to really lead change and set an example for how we can provide high quality care to patients. The second is that, as many of you likely know, there's a serious public health crisis with the opioid epidemic here in the United States, and several of our students have organized their communities and their fellow medical or pharmacy students to work in partnership with community organizations in Dayton, Ohio to reduce the overdose rate, to take back excess prescriptions, in partnership with a pharmacy, and to train students in administering the rescue drug Narcan for opioid overdose. So again, many, many more examples, hundreds that I could cite. These are just 2 stories that I wanted to bring to your attention. And then finally, I wanted to share a little bit about another opportunity that we have to, again, use our online community and bring them together to have them feel connected and feel capable of leading change together. So we are launching very slowly over the next year. We're building the foundation for a campaign to activate our student network to take aim at the challenge of substance use. So of course this includes opioid use disorder, but also other substances that may be more pressing in each student or chapter's local community. And this is a chance for students from all professional backgrounds to work together to make an impact. We think that they can design efforts that will be responsive to their local community's needs. We also want to take an equity lens to this to make sure that we're improving outcomes for diverse communities. As you may know, the opioid epidemic is something that disproportionately impacts white communities, so we want to make sure that we are not just serving that group, but we are actually reaching out to communities of color as well. So again, our theory here is that by taking our sprawling global network of change agents and pointing them all in the same direction, we can both have a real impact and move the needle on a health crisis, and we can also build their sense of collective efficacy and power. So that's it. Just really wanted to give a quick overview, and I'd love to take any questions that have come up, or have Dr. Shepard speak to her experience working with the Open School if that's of interest.
Okay, I had the opportunity to work with the IHI Open School when actually one of my graduate students told me about the program. And first, of course, she wanted me to consider her background and some of the work that she had done in the course and how that would support her being successful in completing this certification with the Open School. And so we, reviewed all of her information, and of course, she asked me to be a resource for her, and so I told her that I would be glad to. So then we continued, and we decided that this might be an opportunity for some of her other classmates to participate in as well. And so I decided that it would probably be a better idea for me to first take the course, and then that way I will be able to give my students a better indication of what went on, what I learned, and of course how I was able to engage additional students and also help to impact our overall HSAD department here. So it was definitely an opportunity for us to look at some of our goals and objectives as a program and evaluate if whether or not we needed to make some changes. But I think most importantly, it was an opportunity for me to reach out into the community to talk with local leaders who would like to, I guess, have a different type of role with our program outside of just being preceptors for internships. I wanted them to tell us what we needed to do differently with our curriculum so that we could better prepare our students for taking positions in the healthcare industry. And so that was very exciting. But also, what the course actually pointed out was that being a leader means connecting with your colleagues and your campus community first, making sure that everyone is, on the same page about where we would like to move the program to. And being new to the university, I guess I had a tangible product that I could take to my colleagues and say, yes, I'm new, but these are some changes that we would probably benefit from. These are some changes that our students would benefit from, and so it's almost ideal to make sure that you have some industry recommendations in your curriculum, throughout the internship process, but also when students need to just network with professionals who've worked just a little bit longer than them to give them ideas about how to move forward in their careers. So the 10-week process was great. We got a lot of work done. I was able to engage with some of my classmates who were also taking the course. And then as a professor of online courses, it gave me an opportunity to be a student. And so that helps too, because you have to be a bit more flexible sometimes, but you always want to make sure that there are opportunities for engagement for that online community. So I learned a lot, and it also helped me to make an impact on our program here. And then I think most importantly, it gave me a glimpse into how difficult it can be sometimes for students who are working full-time, and then all of the demands for online coursework. So now I'm able to encourage some of my other students to take the course because I've been through it, and I know that I can provide additional help for them when they need.
Thanks so much for those reflections. It brings me a lot of joy to hear how people take the learnings in the course and apply them in different settings. And I love your point, Dr. Shepard, about how it helps you empathize with students who have a lot of demands on their time. So I have about 5 minutes left. Are there any questions that I can address? Of course, I would love to connect with anyone who's interested in getting involved with the Open School, whether it's the Leadership and Organizing for Change course that we've been discussing, or getting involved in a chapter, or taking other of our courses on quality and safety and so on.
All right, Becca, it looks like we don't have any questions, but I would like to thank you so much for your time and sharing with us today. And of course, since we were able to record your presentation, we'll be able to share this information with our campus community. So thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Beautiful. Yeah, it's been an honor. Thank you so much for having me.
Have a great rest of your day.
Thanks, you too. Bye.